This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of all the controls is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that can and will change your life. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all of our new content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning. We met our 137,500 goal by March the 31st. And we come in today's recording just a little over 141,000 subscribers. Our watch time is up 138% over the last 28 days. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we have moved into a new year of 2025, a new year of administration, and frankly, approaching the 250th birthday of the United States of America. July 4th, 2026, coming up on a big birthday. It is time, I believe, for more of us to step up and be leaders. Every time you go to the polls and vote for in a general election, you are basically looking for better leadership than what you just had. Unless somebody's retiring, unless somebody is not going to run for re-election, etc. You are deciding, is the person in there better than the person that's wanting to be in that position? That's how you decide whenever you go to the polls and you vote. And a whole lot of that has to do with leadership. But leadership starts, to me, in the home. Leadership starts with yourself. Leadership starts by observing the people around you, your parents, your family, your friends. So you have a major influence over people as they grow up and as they grow with you. I mean, there are people that are in your workforce. There's people that are in your jobs that are looking at you because they feel that you are a leader. And maybe you don't even realize you're a leader. So let's go over a few of those things. And I have an article here from Daniel Abrahams, who is a big-time writer, publisher, etc. on LinkedIn, the business network. And here is some of the things that he shared that I have also went back through and done on my own. But the 10 signs you're already a leader, Jason. And we're going to see, we're going to use you as our guinea pig today.
Okay.
And see how many of these fit your repertoire. Number 1, signs that you're a leader. People seek your advice.
Every day.
So I'll give you that mark. Now, is that advice on how to brush your teeth, or is that advice on how to conquer the world? See, that also has something to do with it too. People seek your advice. I would say that classifies you as a leader. And that is a big deal. Others trust you. They trust your judgment. They trust your insights, your thoughts. They know what you do. You're giving them an honest day. You give them constructive feedback. You don't ridicule them. They're looking for your advice. That's number 1.
Why, thank you.
I was talking to the audience, but yeah, you just incorporate that. So you're telling me you're 1 for 1 right now.
Yes.
Okay, number 2. You take action. You solve problems. You solve problems before even being asked. You see something and you go take action on it. You step up when something needs to be done. Is that you, viewing, listening, and Jason audience? You take action.
I do.
Okay? You're telling me 2 for 2. Number 3, you inspire others. Your actions motivate people to do better. They want to have more. They want to become more. So they look at you because you inspire them. I'm hoping that the 141,000 people that now follow us, Jason, feel that this show inspires them. That Money, Motivation, and Mike is worth tuning into on a regular basis because we inspire them. People follow your lead. Do people follow our lead? The things that we talk about on this show. Do they go out and put those into their everyday life? They follow our lead. Where you at on that, Jason? Do you inspire others?
Well, I like to think I do, but I think a lot of them look at me and see how hard I work and decide that's too much for them.
So you inspire them not to do anything because they don't want to put in the work ethic.
Sad to say, maybe true.
I guess you can be inspired in other ways. I like that. Number 4, you stay calm under pressure. Challenges don't shake your focus. Others look to you when things get tough. You stay calm under pressure.
It takes a lot for me to be riled up. So if you know I'm riled up.
Okay. Now, but I think about that in 2 different ways. Because it doesn't take much at all for me to get riled up. But getting riled up is more of emotions over what you think is being done wrong or how a situation has turned out. It's not necessarily saying that you stay calm under pressure of a problem or a project that you have to tend to. Like in the accounting business, whenever things are not going properly, when a mistake is made, when a tax return is incorrectly done, you have to stay calm so you can figure out the solution to make this whole situation better. Number 1, you have to take care of your client. And number 2, you also have to take care of it in a fashion that the person who just did the return doesn't come out of it devastated, that they still have the confidence in their abilities to do the next tax return. And that's just an example of the work that we do. So, do you stay calm under pressure? And you have to stay calm under pressure so you can make an intelligent, non-emotional decision. So, I feel like that what you just said is correct. It takes a while to rile you up. It takes very little to rile me up. But I think staying calm under this situation is what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they, big screw up or something to that effect, they lose sight of what the next step is to actually try to, execute and correct the situation. And usually I can stop and I know exactly what the next step is.
My problem here with staying calm under pressure, and I know that we can go a lot of different ways, and I explained what I think we're talking about here with Mr. Abrahams in his article. But my problem, or I don't know if it's a problem or not, but it doesn't always set well with the other side, is I struggle with people not doing the right things. Now, and you could say, well, that's just your opinion that they're not doing the right thing. But in most of these situations, it's pretty well common sense. And there are 2 sides to every story. But I struggle when people don't do the right things. Maybe they're taking advantage of somebody else. And I've been accused of those things too. But I struggle with principle of turning. I'm very difficult. It's very difficult for me to turn the shoulder and act like that didn't happen. Because it did happen, and it made an effect on people's lives. And most of the time, it's an effect on youth. And that's very difficult for me. Number 5, you empower others. You help people grow and succeed. It's almost like mentoring, but you empower others to do, as in helping them to become more today than they were yesterday. And you celebrate the support and accomplishments of others by, everybody wants a pat on the back. Did I do good? And that doesn't just go for 5-year-olds. That goes for 55-year-olds. Everyone wants to be appreciated. And do you empower others that they feel this guy, this gal has my back? They appreciate what I'm doing and they see the value of what I just did. You empower others. Number 6, you lead by example. Your actions set the standard. We have quiet leaders. Troy Aikman was a quiet leader. He wasn't as vocal as Michael Irvin was on the field. They both got the job done in different ways, but they lead by example. Showing up early is leading by an example. Showing up late is leading by a bad example. On and on and on. And paying attention, etc. Do you lead by example? And I have this saying, you can't expect someone to do something that you won't do. You have to lead by example. If you expect for your staff to work 12 hours a day, you better be willing to work 13. You do not expect your staff to work 12 hours a day and you at noon, 1 o'clock, you're at the golf course. That's not leading by an example, and that is very, very difficult. You're not afraid to do the hard work, which you were talking about back up here on one of these others that we were talking about. You're not afraid to do the hard work. As I say about myself, I'm not interested in going out and digging ditches. I'm interested in continuing to do what I'm doing with the calculator. But I will go out and dig ditches. I will go out and get muddy if that's what the job calls for. And a lot of people won't do that. There's a lot of entitlement, and we've talked about that many times on this show. Now, leading by example leads us into number 7, which is you take responsibility. We live in a world right now where passing the buck is one of the biggest things we do on a minute by minute, for sure daily basis, passing the buck. And you take responsibility. You own up on your own mistakes. Your growth comes by making mistakes, but only if you take responsibility and own those mistakes. You don't blame others when things go wrong. And when you do, and you know you did, that's when you got to go take responsibility for that action as well. And taking responsibility, owning it, and you know we've had a lot of talk about our government. Here's you an example of people not taking responsibility. And to me, it's the biggest organization we have, the biggest agency that we have in American government, because it creates most of the revenue. And that is the Internal Revenue Service. They are the world's worst at taking responsibility. Yes, and I'm in that profession, and I work with them all the time, every day. Every time I sign a tax return, it's going to the Internal Revenue Service so that they can scrutinize that and determine if that is a correct example of your income or is it incorrect. And when they make mistakes, they don't own them. When they make mistakes, they don't take responsibility for them. It's back on you to prove that you are correct in the way that you reported your income to the Internal Revenue Service. It's not on them to prove that you did something wrong. You are guilty till proven innocent. And I've heard conversations in Washington, D.C. about auditing the Internal Revenue Service. It ought to be a process that gets done every 12 months, and it should have started 50 years ago, not today. They answer to no one. You take responsibility. Number 8, you build trust. People know they can count on you. You do what you say you're going to do. I am very happy to say, Jason, whenever you get to your senior year and they're handing out this and that and the Mr. whatever school, DHS, Mr. Athlete, Mrs. Athlete, blah, blah, blah. When I graduated, I got the award for most reliable. And I look back on that and I don't know that I would have ever had wanted another award other than most reliable. What's interesting is, and I can think of several classes in the 1980s when I was in high school, Mr. and Mrs. most likely to succeed didn't amount to a thing. They were the most popular, but they did not go out and set the world on fire. And I guess that's how you also evaluate that. And most people evaluate by the success that they have in their life. I was Mr. Reliable. And I would think over a 12-year period of being in school that I built their trust, that they knew that they could rely on me. So I'm very, very happy to say that that's where that came from. Number 9, you communicate clearly. And we talk about communication here on Money, Motivation, and Mike. And communication is the biggest asset and the biggest detriment in any relationship, in my opinion. Whether you're dealing with your children, whether you're dealing with your spouse, you're dealing with your coworkers, you're dealing with your business partners, whatever it is. Communication is what gets you in trouble. It's what also gets you over the line into success. You communicate clearly. You make complex ideas easy to understand. You listen more than you speak. Now, going back to making these complex thoughts, ideas, projects easy to understand, I feel that I'm very good at that. Now, I won't explain to you why. Because I have to dummy it down to a level where I understand it, including taxes. So when I explain it to someone else, it comes across pretty clear to them because I have to bring it down here so that I can understand it. So I don't get to talk over their heads. I get to talk on their level because I had to find a way to figure out what's going on myself. So when I explain this to a client, a person, they understand it because I have dummied it down for my own benefit, which then they get to get some of those rewards too, because I'm just that dumb that
I like it though.
Yeah. Hey, you know them little yellow and black Cliff notebooks?
Yeah.
Back in, you could get it in high school and it went with that book. Do they even do that anymore?
I haven't seen one in a long time.
I haven't either, but maybe it's online now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I knew how to get Cliff books. I knew how to, and not necessarily doing the shortcut. It helped me understand what was going on. And outside of math, I had a lot of problems with a lot of things. So, number 10, and the final one here. You celebrate the success of others. Once again, it kind of goes along with the one up here that we talked about a while ago, which was number 4, you empower others by celebration. You give them the credit where credit's due. A great leader always passes the credit on to the folks that are part of their team. They always let them take in the celebration and the glory. You genuinely enjoy when people succeed. You genuinely enjoy when they have success, when they win. And a whole lot of people don't look at it that way, Jason, because if I end up teaching you enough, then you can go on your own and learn more than I know, and then you can pass me by. And a lot of people can't deal with that fact. They can't deal with the fact that you then become a threat to them instead of a team player. So sometimes you don't celebrate their success because their success brings greater gifts than what you currently are getting. And that goes back to the one up here above on your work ethic and doing what you say you're going to do, taking responsibility and leading by an example. Because there's a lot of people that don't want to lead by example. So these leadership skills here in these 10, I think are pretty strong. People seek your advice, I think is a big feather in your cap. It says a lot about you when somebody wants to know what you think about this, because they may be a little unclear, but they think you're not, that you have the answer. You solve problems. Your actions inspire others. You stay calm under pressure, the empowerment of others. You invest in their growth. You lead by example. You take responsibility. You own your own mistakes. You find solutions. You build trust. You build trust. You communicate clearly. And then you go out and celebrate the success of other people. When people get a promotion, how many people take them out to eat and celebrate that day? How many people take them out and have a Coke after work? How many people don't even shake their hand and tell them congratulations? Where do you fit into that deal? Are you happy for them or mad at yourself or mad at the boss because he or she didn't promote you? He or she didn't recognize you and what you've done this week, today, the over the last month, whatever the case may be. Maybe that starts with personal growth inside of ourselves. But these are great 10 points that you probably already are a leader. So you need to take these. When you think about them, you need to put them in play. You need to see, how do I do this? How do I handle pressure? You can start inside your own family. How do I handle the pressure of raising a child? How do I handle the pressure, and this is a good one, of dealing with financial responsibilities on a monthly basis? Do you sit on your couch and whine? Do you get up and do something about it? Maybe you make enough money. Do you not have the discipline and do you have the discipline and the lack of responsibility? You overspend and you get to the end of the month and there's not enough money. Too much month at the end of the money. That old saying. Because most people, Jason, are broke by Monday morning. And now they're working till 5 o'clock on Friday to get the next go round. See, think about that. And as we sit here and get ready to close on this leadership day, why would you pay someone? Now, we're trying to build a system here that helps you create a better life. Why would you pay someone on Friday afternoon and let them off for 2 days? Because all they're going to do is go spend. I mean, Saturday is the best day for the retailers because you got a pocket full of money on Friday night. You're going to go out and spend on Saturday. Why do we pay people on Friday afternoon and let them have 2 days off and then walk back in on Monday morning broke in a bad mood and expect better results this week than we got last week? You've never thought about it like that, have you?
Paychecks on Mondays from now on.
It sounds good to me, but and frankly, I don't have the answer today, because it just hit me as we're going through here on leadership. Why do we pay them and then let them have 48 hours to go spend it, and then expect for them to show up on Monday morning in a great mood with 38 cents in their pocket, and not really for sure how they're going to feed their kid on Thursday? But that's what we do. If you can just wait till Friday, I can get that for you. If you just wait till Friday, we'll go to that pizza place. And then we're broke. And then we show up, and how many hours in that 40-hour work week does a person spend dazing and thinking about their finances? Some of these leadership things we talked about, if you do those first, then maybe you won't be in the situation that we just talked about on Monday morning. And once again, Monday Motivation Mike continues to try to bring you things that are uplifting, important information. Sometimes we try to use logic. Sometimes we don't. On and on and on. Of course, we continue to fool 141,000 plus of you on the YouTube channel. And of course, info at mx3.vip is where you can get us and find us, and mx3.vip is where you can find all of our content, and also on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And always don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which Jason puts out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock, including this episode. And Jason, as we are now within 90 days of our 3rd anniversary of Money, Motivation, and Mike. How about that?
Fantastic.
3 years into the show, podcast, 2.5 years basically into the YouTube channel, and here we are. So once again, thank you. And for everyone who's been a part of this show, continue to live your life the right way.